Welcome back, guys. Now if you're keeping up with the updates, we are ready to go. So we did that last night. Now I'm wrapped with that. I sanded it. This is all sanded, and I sanded maybe about 200 mil up there. You can see the difference there. It's all nice and clean. We had to extend the awning out a little bit further here because the weather is very raining, stopped raining, so it's on and off. So, but what we're going to do now, we're going to mix up some Ultra Bond, same material that we used sealing up the joint in the other videos. So we're going to just mix up maybe 2 litres and then see how that goes. We're going to be applying it with 6x6 trowel with the teeth, and we're going to see how it goes. Now if you're following with the videos, I'm not a boat builder, we're just winging it. Obviously I do some research, but I've never done it before. So if you're following these videos, follow at your own risk if you're going to do it. But we're just going to trowel this and trowel that and then bring it over. If you're doing it on your own and you do it this way, that there is about maybe 45 kilos, give or take. So obviously if you're standing it up, you're not holding the whole weight. I'm just going to slide it across. And then I've made up them little clamps there, I'll show you a bit later. And essentially we're going to have that timber on the inside, bolted up straight through there. And I didn't draw any other holes. So they're originally the hooks. So obviously the hook goes on the boat. And that's it. So just a shitload of clamps wherever we can get them. And yeah, we'll see how we go with that. Alright guys, we've done the hard job. Now, the camera did die, chucked another battery in it. I just threw the Oregon beam stringer in here, and that's against the pin to grab, like hook up the boat down there. So I just grabbed 2 more clamps here, pushing, and then clamp here just to stop them. I think that's enough. Look, we can't do any more than this. I'm wrapped. Let me know what you think in the comments. But this is the end result with the transom. Let that go off. Maybe tomorrow Arvo, I'll take off all the clamps and we'll start laying out the sheet. Obviously we've got to go around and fill up the rest of the gaps with the same stuff, and then we'll sheet it 3 sheets straight over the top of that, and we can call that transom done. This is going to be a long video. I think I'll break it down to 2 videos, but I hope you enjoy these and keeping up with these updates. But I'll hit you up tomorrow and I'll show you how it turned out. But check that out. They're the bolts that go straight through. And then these all the other clamps. Alright guys, to the next one. Alright guys, just stripping the transom. Now if you're like me and you didn't put no grease or anything on the bolt prior putting it in, you'll be stuck with these sticking out. Now not to panic, just a little tip that I just did then. If you're using like an 8mm, you can put some lock pliers just on this side like this and crank it. But if it's not going to go, I've already cracked this already. But if it's not going to go, you will snap this before you loosen it. So the best thing to do is get another pair of vice grips on the other side and get someone inside if you can't reach around, and put the same amount of pressure on each side and it will come loose. And then all you do is just chuck a drill on the end and just wind it out. Just a little tip. If you're using a solid rod, it will do the same trick. But if you put the same amount of pressure on one side without doing the other side, you will snap it here. So just be mindful of that. But as you can see, this is nice and stripped, rock hard. So the next plan of attack, we're going to put the same amount of stuff all the way around. I'll just jump in and show you there. So now, I'm wrapped with that by the way. So I'm just going to sand around here a little bit just to take off any dags. And then what I'm going to do all the way up here, every single gap, I'm going to fill up with that stuff again. The Ultra Bond. And then I'm going to put like a little curve on it with them little timber sticks that I had before. I think I showed you in the last video. And just go around and put a nice little curve on it before we put the 3 sheets. Same up the top there. I'm not too fussed up there because I am going to wrap the sheet around and up like that. So we're going to do a nice little curve up there as well, but we'll see how it turns out up the top. But as long as the gap's sealed, which is not much of a gap there now, but not much room, so but we can wrap the sheets under and up. I wrapped that. Finally getting somewhere in this boat. So I'm just going to finish this off today and put 3 sheets on that, and then I'm going to put the stringers in here. Alright, well let's get to doing that. But how do you like that turnout? All the holes are filled, solid transom. I reckon it turned out good. Now for the fun part, finishing the transom off and starting the next one. Alright guys, hope that helped you. Catch you on the next one. Alright guys, we're getting very close to finishing this transom now. So in the last video, I showed you we needed to fill the gap. I didn't record myself doing it because I ran out of time, we needed to go out. So what I did, it's full with like a little chamfer on the edge using that stick that I showed you, and I've sanded 100mm. I haven't wiped it down yet just to show you that I actually do sand it. So up the top here, when you see that with the camera, it's like on a 45-degree angle. You can see that. And what that's going to do, that's going to help the sheet sit on like a little curve. Otherwise, if you try to do straight and up, it's not going to work. And being like that tight there, area, it's very hard to work with. But with the 45, it's going to be a lot easier because you can actually see the sheet there. So that is the prepped area. As you can see, we didn't skimp anywhere. And with this here, I'm not worried about joining the front onto the back here, only because it was exposed timber before, but I will be putting sheet inside like that and around with 450 the sheet and then another 450 to finish it off. So we're going to start cleaning it now and then sheet it. I've got all the sheets cut there for the tabs, that side, tabbing for that side. That's your 600 double bias and your 450 mat. There's 2 of them there. So we're ready to rock and roll here. Just need to clean it out. And I also took off the 2 pipes that were on here because they're not going to stay. And I did notice that there's nothing inside. All the material has all rotted away. So once the floor's done, we end up cutting this out and replacing that timber in there or whatever was in there, because we're going to put a live well hanging down here so you can access it from here. And not sure what we're doing on this side yet, but definitely live well on this side, maybe batteries on this side, not sure yet. But this boat's starting to come together. I'm cheering. So I'm going to lay these sheets on now, let them dry, and then straight onto the stringers. So if you're liking these videos, please give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Really helps the channel out. But yeah, the end result is one solid transom. Alright guys, let's get this done. So I think we've got 2% left, but see, it goes all the way up the top, all the way across and down that side. Alright guys, that is it for the transom build. I'm happy with the turnout of that. That is 3 layers, technically 4 layers, and I tied it into the center here. Not that I had to, it wasn't before, I just thought about an extra coat. So once I sand all that off, I'm not going to show it, there's nothing to it, just sand it flat. But that is it. Now on the next video, we are probably going to do the keel first. That way we've got somewhere to stand, nice and flat. And then we'll do the keel, there's 2 stringers. So I'm going to have to rip the motor out, put the mount on it, and then measure what we're gonna use. I think it's 730 by memory, can't remember. I think it sits just shy of these bumps, but we're gonna find that out. Alright guys, I hope you enjoy this transom rebuild. If you're liking these videos, hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Catch you guys.